Our look at signals so far has perhaps been a bit theoretical and our examples perhaps a little contrived, so let me end the module, and indeed the entire course, by looking at 7 practical uses for signals. Number 1, ignore them. Number 2, clean up and terminate gracefully. Number 3, reconfigure on the fly. Number 4, report status dynamically. Number 5, turn debugging on and off. Number 6, implement a timeout. And number 7, schedule periodic actions. So number 1 is to ignore them. Now you probably think that this one's a bit of a cheat. Is ignoring a signal really a use for it? Well, maybe not. But the fact remains that one of the most important reasons that a programmer needs to know about signals is so that she knows how to ignore them. Now you can either do that by making repeated calls on a signal to set the disposition of each of the signals to be ignored, or the other approach is to set the process mask. Here we're setting all the signals in a signal set, and then we're removing the sig-hup signal, and then we're assigning that set to the process mask. At that point we can proceed with only sig-hup unblocked. Well, that's not entirely true, because just in case you were wondering, you cannot block sig-kill. Any attempts to block sig-kill are just silently ignored. Suggestion number 2, clean up and terminate. Now the convention is that if you send a process a sig term, that's a request to gracefully clean up its resources and terminate. That might include, for example, flushing any in-memory data to a file, and then removing any temporary resources that would otherwise outlive the process, things like files, System 5 message queues, name pipes, any child processes that were created, and so on. Here's a sketch of how that might look. In our main program, in this case we've created a temporary work file, and we've created a child process. To make sure that those resources get cleaned up when the process receives a sig term, we've written a handler called cleanup, which removes the temporary file and attempts to kill the child process, and then it causes this process to exit. Back in the main program, of course, we need to install that cleanup handler as the handler for sig term signals.